98XC in the garage, thawing out. Goal, we have a $70 rebuilt motor, used crank, used pistons, used rings, used cylinders. Everything on this is secondhand leftovers, except for head gaskets, base gaskets, crank seals. Those are all brand new. We're gonna put this in this, and my goal tonight, I want to have my first start. I want to start this thing tonight. Yeah, that seat looks bad. That's got to get fixed. Maybe I'll do a seat cover like I did on the RXL. No, I'm just joking. Eventually this will be going on there. Fortunately, I'm still pissed off at that guy that made the seat cover. But yeah, let's see if we can get this thing running. All right, here we go. We are using the 440 as a workbench. I got my engine plate. This brace goes under the front PTO side. This shim on the 98 will go on the PTO side. So this will go between the motor and the plate, and that will go between, well, pretty much it just goes like this. So, yep. Something I found, 97s do not have these. In 98 they started putting these on. I'm not sure exactly why. This may have been a way to try to correct these from breaking, because I've broken a few of these over the years, even with this though. Maybe that's to help make it stiffer, but aftermarket companies have plates that cover the whole thing. After this a giant plate, I think it was in maybe 99, I know 2000 for sure, they went to 2 strips and got rid of all this in the center. Maybe that, I don't know. They don't break as often. They were strip style, but that's all the edges, the Pro-X's, everything are. This was just early Liberty thing here, and they do have a tendency to break, but they are working for now, so I'm not going to bother going with the new style because I don't have any of the new style straps. All right, just like I was saying, PTO side, front or exhaust gets this brace here. Little shim goes right there, and that's how that looks when it's all said and done. All right, so one of the last little things I need to do on this engine before I'm ready to slap it in is this torque stop plate right here. Just has 2 little screws, goes right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that buttoned up, and then this is ready to go in the chassis. But yeah, basic rundown. This motor, 97 crank, 97 cases, new crank seals. These are 824 cylinders. These are off like a mid or late release 98XC 700. Really any mid 98 or later 700 twin that's a non-vest would have that cast cylinder. Only the 97s and snow checked or early 98s had the 220s. So these are not period correct, but who's really gonna know without looking. Boys and reed cages with the oh, you can't really tell, but yeah, aftermarket reeds. Other than that, it's pretty much a stock motor. 1 year only head, wasn't really smashed up too bad, cleaned up really good. It just had a bunch of aluminum caked on it. So let's slap this son of a bitch back in that Derek C chassis, eh? Yes. So I lied. I want to put the exhaust manifold on before putting the chassis, just because it will be much easier out and about here. In true nature of this build, I'm going to reuse these exhaust gaskets because they look perfectly fine. They aren't damaged in any way, shape, or form. All the material is still there. I'm going to clean that up and clean that up so there's no oil or anything in the mating surfaces. But yeah, we're just going to send it. Total budget build. I already said it's $70 build. I can't add new gaskets and up that price now, you know. Probably a bad idea, but I don't think they'll leak. All right, exhaust manifolds on. Praying to God those don't leak. So, okay, now this is ready to go in that sled. All right, so I got my oil hoses connected. I actually drew a blank and couldn't remember which one went where. So I did have to go get this upper case out that had the oil pump still attached. It's from one of my blown up motors, so I could trace which hoses go where. But we got that all situated. So now I'm going to go ahead and set this motor down onto its mounts. I'm not hooking the oil pump up yet because I am going to use a drill and prime the oil pump, all the lines and everything prior to starting it. But one step closer. Sweet, motor is in. We got all the coolant hoses hooked up. That big one down there is my least favorite thing about doing these big block swaps on a 97 or 98. But it's in. Now I just have to button up all the rest of the crap. Chain case, clutch, put the carbs on. I actually put the mount nuts on there. I don't have them on yet. Spark plugs and exhaust. We'll be ready to fire this thing up, see what happens. Alright, chain case is all back together. Just got to throw a cover on it. That's good to go. I'm pretty sure last time the hoses were hooked up. It's all bolted down. Carbs are on. I think I'm about to the point. I'll throw the cover on. I'll prime the oil system. Make sure I'm getting oil out of all my lines. Bolt it up. Put the exhaust on. Airbox CDI. Throw a clutch on this thing. And we'll see if it runs. Alright, chain case buttoned up. Good to go. Not full of fluid because I don't have anything here that I would put in there currently. I'll pick something up tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and prime the oil system. Oh, I know some of you guys have seen my previous video I did this in. All I do is I take my drill. I put the end of the shaft for the oil pump right in there, and I spin it with a drill. That's all there is to it. We'll want to turn the oil pump up, otherwise it will go really slow. So you're going to want this arm kind of pulled up like this, as if your throttle would be wide open, and that will make it pump the oil quicker. Alright, so I went ahead and I pulled the line furthest away from the oil pump just to verify I am getting oil flow. I am, so I'm going to go ahead, hook this back up, and continue to prime the system just a little bit longer, just to make absolutely sure that we will have plenty of oil in this motor on the first fire up. Even though everything was pre-oiled as I assembled the motor, it never hurts to have just a little bit more. Oil saves lives. Pump is bolted on. I got my pump set up just a little bit richer than factory because that's how I like to run them. A little bit of oil never hurts. Yeah, it costs you $1 every time you go riding. Who cares? That's a lot cheaper than rebuilding the motor. I got all my electrical hooked up down there. Just need to throw these in once the airbox and everything's on. And exhaust, spark plugs, clutches. Getting it. Side note, pulse line is hooked up. Because, yeah, kind of forgot that one on the big board. wouldn't run without that run the fuel pump. So, yep, double check. Make sure that is hooked up on this one. SLP can installed. SLP pipe installed. Most importantly, hot dogger. Gotta be able to cook your hot pockets while you're out riding. Alright, so the air box and CDI and stuff from this sled actually ended up on the big bore 770 RMK that's sitting outside. So what we're gonna have to do is remove this, which is actually a correct 97 700 CDI, not a 98 like the one out there, and take it off the cases, because this is how 97s actually were from the factory. The CDI was mounted on the motor, not on the airbox. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and remove this and throw it on an airbox. All right, airbox is in place. CDI is mounted. The only bad thing about having an original 97 CDI that hasn't been messed with is the leads to the spark plug are super long. I'm gonna have to fix this airbox. It's missing one of the nipples there that this goes to, so probably don't want to run it that way. But that's okay because I don't know why I closed that. I still got to put a clutch on it because I still have to pull these carbs out. I still have to put different jets in it. According to SLP specs, I do have way too lean of a main jet in it, which I had already suspected. So that'll be another trip down to the dealership. And I need one of the little, I don't know what you call it, little insert in there that these screw into. This air box is missing that too. Basically, this air box sucks. But I have another air box. I might go steal it off one of my other sleds. That's kind of slowly, progressively turning into a part sled. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw some clutches on this thing. All right, clutches are on. Oh, CDI is on, plugged in. 2 plugs down there are plugged in. Pulse line. The carbs are all together because I never really took them apart. Tighten them up to the carb boot. Motor's bolted down. Bolts in the recoil oil system is primed. Exhaust is on. I think it's ready to start. So I was doing a compression test on this because it was actually pretty firm pulling it over. And this son of a bitch is way up there. You can see it's bleeding off, but hold on, let's pull it over again. Okay, I just finished pulling it over. This thing is right at 140 psi. That is insane. Huh. I've never had 700 pull that much compression before. Alright, I just finished with the second one. It's also right at 140. Whew. Alright, so that thing is pulling right at 140 psi on each cylinder. I've never seen a 700 non-vest have more than 125 in my life. Huh. Kind of tripped me out right now because it felt stiff when I pulled it over. That's why I was like, maybe I should check the compression, like make sure it's good, make sure nothing's like locking up in this thing, which made it feel hard when it was on the compression stroke. But no, it's just really high compression. I wonder if it has something to do with that mix match of 824 cylinders with the 97 head. Like, because I know the 824s have different porting than the 220. I've never compared the two side by side, which I probably should one of these days. That'd be a cool video. But I wonder if the ports are a little bit lower. No, hell, I don't know. It's a freak though, and I might want to check with the second gauge after seeing that, because that's like way up there. But it did feel stiff, which is why I checked it in the first place. So yeah, that's kind of tripped me out. A little bit nervous about starting this thing because it's like the ultimate budget. The only thing new, like I've said a few times, is crank seals, base gaskets, head gaskets. Everything else is used. This thing is pulling stupid high compression numbers. So that's wild. This gauge bleeds off though. It's back down to 120 right now. But yeah, that's nuts. Well, let's throw some spark plugs in this thing and see how good it runs. Alright guys, so we got the spark plugs back in. Yeah, I think it's good for a first start. I don't have any coolant in it because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to put $20 coolant in this thing and have it blow a crank, connecting rod, split the block, and all that. So, like usual, I'm starting without. I think it's ready though. So, yeah. I guess we'll give her a couple pulls and see what happens. I didn't prime the cylinders, nothing, so it might take a minute to get this thing fired. Oof. One last thing I might want to do though. Let's hook my hood up so it's not leaning on the windshield. Alright, now we're going to try to start it. A little bit nervous about this one. So I've never done a super cheap. I've never put a motor together with used pistons before, really. Except for the 770. That was the first time. This is my second time. Alright. This will give us a choke and don't want to go. What is going on? Alright, I'm going to try to put a little bit of gas in the cylinder. Alright, before I just dump a bunch of gas in this thing and wash all that oil off, the pistons and everything, I'm going to see if I have a spark. Sorry, tell with the light on in here. I don't think I do though. Okay, we have no spark. Huh. That's plugged in, that's plugged in. That's unplugged. That's on. What if this is a bad CDI? It shouldn't be though. It ran until it blew. No spark. Very strange, very strange. Plugged in. Nothing. Okay, so I'm going to go and pull the air box and the CDI and stuff off the big bore RMK real quick. We're going to fill it on here and then see if that's our issue, because I don't like not having spark. Alright, we'll figure it out though. Alright guys, I got this other box just sitting in here, plugged in this CDI. I got spark with this other CDI, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, what are the odds that I pull a CDI off a blown up motor, which means it ran until it blew up, and now the CDI doesn't work. So that's lame, but it might just, I don't know. Anyways, we're going to try starting this thing again now that I have a good coil on it for CDI. See what happens now. Come on, baby girl. Let's fire right up. So smoked out right now. Yeah. Like, I'm all for 2-stroke smell. Woo. This is excessive though. I gotta get something going on too. See here. And finish work. Oh, I can see the sled again. Man, that is awesome. It took a second to pick up that second cylinder because there's so much oil in this thing right now. I mean, I primed it, I blew the hell out of everything. But yeah, once I picked up that second cylinder, it sounded good. Hell yeah. No knocks, no clatter, no funny noise at all. Just straight running good. So you guys have it. You almost died. $70 motor. Sounds awesome. Showing 140 psi on the gauge. Not, I don't know. I need to check that with another gauge. Because I'm having a hard time believing that. I've never seen one have that high compression. But it pulls over like a beast. Sounded so good. Whew. I'm getting excited again. Just need to swap out the tunnel enclosure so you can see it holding the fan back there because it still has 136 set up on it. Get that swapped out for 121 set up. Get the air box completely mounted and everything hooked up there. And fill the chain case. I gotta do that still. I gotta put chain case fluid in it. But she's running. Things sounded awesome too. So hell yeah, guys. It's like 3 in the morning. I gotta catch some sleep. This thing runs. It's smoky as all hell in here right now. So hope everyone has a good night. Stay tuned for the next video.